So today is our weekly Thursday service. We will be going over yet another of the passages from the Buddhist nuns because there was one that just kind of struck me. So we're going to go over that first. Let us go ahead and get started. And as you can see, I have already lit the incense and the candles, so we are good to go. Alright, are we ready to get started? Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Bhutam saranam gacchami, dhammam saranam gacchami, sangham saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi bhutam saranam gacchami, dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami, Dutiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi bhutam saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Tatiyampi sangham saranam gacchami. Anatipata gramani param samadhyami. Arinnadana gramani param samadhyami. Kamesumi chanchara gramani param samadhyami. Usavana gramani param samadhyami. Surameraya majja pamanattana gramani param samadhyami. Yojinjim mimyonaho heku sammango yoyo kodogatashi warema kenman shijiji suru koto etari nagawaku wa nyurai no shinjitsu gyogyoshi tatematsuran. Shift myself over. Okay, so as I had mentioned before, we're going to be going over Yet another of the verses of the Elder Nuns. Those of you who have a copy of this, go ahead and feel free to read along. We are on 66, the nun named Chanda, the moon. So her passage reads, or her poem reads, "Do you remember when disease came to your village? Of your family, you were the only one to survive. You were just a girl. For years you begged for your food. Then a nun took you in. You told her your story, and she held you while you wept. Then she told you her story, and you wept with her. Her name was Patachara, and you went everywhere she went, and soon left behind all that she had left behind. When you were young, you learned what it was to be truly alone. Now you know for yourself. This freedom is something altogether different from that." Now, part of the reason why I think this is kind of an important passage is a lot of us are starting to get a little bit, shall we say, stir crazy. Most of us have not seen as many of our friends as we would like to have seen in the last week, month, whatever it is. What even day is it? I don't even know now. Other than I know it's Thursday. But a lot of us are starting to go a little bit stir crazy, and we're starting to, we're starting to kind of see the effects, and people are really feeling a little bit lonely, and really feeling like, hey, maybe I do want to go out and hang out with some friends. Maybe I do want to go out and do something, right? So this passage kind of really spoke to me in that regard, because it's really kind of a sense of, we see the effects that a really nasty disease can have, right? The nun Chanda watched her whole village die, right? Her whole family was gone, and she's the only one to survive out of all of them, right? And so she had to go and beg, and eventually got taken in by probably the greatest, probably the strongest and most interestingly regarded of the nuns in the Buddha's time, Patachara. There's a lot to be said about her. She was essentially kind of like a guide nun for most of the younger ones that came in. And Chanda was one of those, right? And so she kind of followed Patachara around and learned, because she knew what it was to be really alone. Right? She knew what it was because she had seen this disease destroy her village, take away her whole family. She knew what it meant to be alone. She knew what that felt like. And so she came to realize, right, that the freedom that the Buddha is offering is not the freedom to be alone. It's not the freedom to go about doing your own thing. It's the freedom of oneness, right? The freedom from separation, the freedom from loss, the freedom from suffering, right? And you don't get there by yourself. You don't, right? None of us do. So as we're dealing with the effects of a similarly capable virus, right? A similarly capable kind of like medical event, we may start feeling alone, and some of us probably are feeling alone. And as we go about our day-to-day life, as we go about what we do in our everyday kind of existence, it's important to know that freedom does not mean being alone. Freedom is not found by oneself. Freedom is not separation. Detachment, sure, right? But not separation. Right? And so I just wanted to kind of encourage you guys all to take a look at that, and to take a look at what's going on in your lives, and to say, am I making the proper communication? Am I really making myself more alone than I have to be? Right? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating going out and enjoying like parties and big gatherings and whatnot. I'm definitely not advocating for that. I wouldn't attend those myself if I could, but I definitely don't recommend those right now. But at the same time, You have to reach out because we are not alone. We are not we're not lone wolves. We are not those who just go off and don't have any communication with anybody. We're not well, most of us are not recluses. Some, don't get me wrong, some of us are. Some of us would prefer to be alone. But even those who prefer to be alone still need some kind of human contact. Still need some kind of human, right, togetherness. Whatever that community looks like for them, even if it's just one other person. Right? So as we might start feeling a little bit more alone and a little bit more separated, just know that the path, the Buddha's path to liberation is not a path of separateness. Freedom is not separateness. Freedom is oneness. Freedom is together. It is found together. It is, practiced together. It is togetherness, right? Freedom is not lonely. Freedom is not aloneness. Freedom is very much, and we're all in it together, right? So let's take that to heart. Let's keep that in mind. I'm going to go ahead and move to comments/questions. And for those watching a little bit later, do feel free to add to the conversation. I would be more than happy to hear your guys' take on that because, hey, these are nuns. Sometimes I don't know as well as I would like what they're saying, and sometimes I get it wrong too. And maybe we can talk about what these nuns really mean. Maybe there's more to it than that. Maybe there's more to it than I'm seeing, right? But for now, just know that that's kind of the message that had resonated with me this week is freedom is not loneliness. Freedom is not separation. Freedom is not separateness. Freedom is togetherness. Freedom is, as best we can, oneness, right? So, okay, comments/questions, and we'll go as long as you guys want me to, and then I'll go ahead and close it out. And those watching on YouTube, if my camera is in fact working this week, which it has a history of not doing, I will try to get this uploaded pronto and make sure that it does get a chance to get to you. Okay, looks like I have either completely stupefied every single one of you. I'm okay with that. I don't know why I'm okay with that, but I am. Or Venerable Chanda's words were just so clear and so concise and so precise that they didn't really leave you with any questions. Which, again, I'm not sure if I'm really good with that, but hey, it works sometimes. Again, this is your guys' time to go ahead and comment, ask questions, whatever you guys think is appropriate. I'll keep it going for probably another couple of minutes before I decide to go ahead and shut it down. Okay, seeing no further questions, I'm going to go ahead and close this out with a little bit more chanting and a little bit more bowing, and then, well, as we usually do. And then, that'll be, I think that'll be it for the day. Do feel free to leave comments or questions if they're appropriate. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and like I said, I'm going to close this out quick and send us all on our way for a nice Thursday dinner time or lunchtime, whatever time it is for you. Enjoyment of togetherness through even while we're separated. So, okay. Dutiyampi bhutam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi dhammam saranam gacchami. Dutiyampi